90-Day Fiancé. Alliya and Shawn's the worst wedding in 90-Day Fiancé history. Alliya and Shawn's epic blunder exposed. In a shocking turn of events, Alliya and Shawn's wedding on 90-Day Fiancé has become one of the most talked about moments in the show's history. It's been labeled by fans as the worst wedding ever, with countless viewers expressing their disbelief and outrage at the drama that unfolded. In this video, we'll dive into the details of their disastrous nuptials, the mistakes they made, and how this couple's fairy tale ended in one of the most epic blunders we've ever seen. It's no secret that Alliya and Shawn had their fair share of challenges leading up to their big day. While every couple on 90-Day Fiancé faces their own set of problems, Alliya and Shawn seem to have more than their fair share of red flags. From Shawn's secretive behavior to Alliya's increasing doubts, there were moments during the show that foreshadowed a disaster. For starters, the couple had only been together for a short time before deciding to tie the knot. While it's common for 90-Day Fiancé couples to rush into marriage, Alliya and Shawn took it to a whole new level. They hadn't even fully addressed some of the core issues in their relationship, and yet they were willing to take this huge step. Alliya, in particular, seemed uncertain about marrying Shawn. On several occasions, she openly questioned whether she was making the right decision, which only added to the growing tension surrounding their wedding. As the big day arrived, it quickly became apparent that this wedding was not going to go smoothly. Alliya and Shawn's ceremony was filled with tension, awkward moments, and jaw-dropping blunders. For a wedding that was supposed to be a joyous occasion, it quickly turned into a disaster. Let's start with the venue. The couple had chosen an unconventional location for their wedding, which already raised eyebrows. They opted for a location that was far from traditional and lacked the charm and beauty that most weddings on 90-Day Fiancé are known for. The setting was stark and uninviting, making it clear that they hadn't put much thought into the overall vibe of the event. But the venue wasn't the only issue. The guest list was a mess. Many of the people who were supposed to attend the wedding didn't show up, and the few who did were left awkwardly standing around, unsure of what to do. Some family members expressed their disapproval of the wedding, adding to the already tense atmosphere. As the ceremony began, it became clear that things were spiraling out of control. The couple's vows were awkward and lacked the emotional depth one would expect from a wedding. Instead of heartfelt promises, there was an uncomfortable silence between Alliya and Shawn, with neither of them appearing fully engaged in the moment. This lack of connection was evident to everyone in attendance, and it didn't go unnoticed by fans either. But perhaps the most shocking moment came when Alliya made a bold decision that left everyone speechless. Just as Shawn was about to exchange vows with her, she hesitated. In a moment of pure uncertainty, Alliya questioned whether she was truly ready for marriage. The moment was so tense that even the officiant didn't know how to react. As if Alliya's doubts weren't enough, Shawn made his own massive blunder that completely derailed the wedding. Shawn, who had been acting mysterious throughout their entire relationship, finally revealed a shocking secret to Alliya at the altar. The revelation was so unexpected that it left Alliya and the audience in utter disbelief. Shawn admitted that he had been hiding something major from Alliya, and the timing couldn't have been worse. At the altar, no less, he disclosed that he had been dealing with serious financial issues and had failed to disclose the full extent of his problems to her. This revelation sent shockwaves through the ceremony, and Alliya's reaction was one of utter shock and disappointment. In a moment that was supposed to be about love and commitment, Shawn's revelation turned the wedding into an emotional roller coaster. Alliya was left questioning whether she could truly trust Shawn, and the rest of the guests were left stunned by the unexpected turn of events. After the wedding disaster, many fans are left wondering whether Alliya and Shawn's relationship will survive. With the emotional turmoil of the ceremony still fresh in everyone's minds, it's hard to imagine how the couple could move forward after such a catastrophic event. Alliya has made it clear that she is unsure of her future with Shawn, and many fans believe that their marriage might not last much longer. While the couple has tried to maintain some semblance of normalcy in the aftermath of the wedding, the cracks in their relationship are too big to ignore. The lack of trust, combined with the shocking revelations made during the ceremony, has left many questioning whether they will be able to overcome these obstacles. On the other hand, Shawn's actions during the wedding have left a sour taste in many viewers' mouths. His secrecy and lack of transparency have raised serious concerns about his intentions, and some fans believe that Alliya should walk away from the relationship entirely. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé have been vocal in their reactions to Alliya and Shawn's disastrous wedding. Many have taken to social media to express their shock and disappointment, with some even going so far as to call it the worst wedding in the history of the show. Some fans have criticized the couple for rushing into marriage without truly addressing their issues, while others have expressed sympathy for Alliya, who seemed genuinely conflicted throughout the ceremony. Many viewers believe that Alliya deserves better than Shawn and that she should move on from the relationship before things get any worse. Regardless of the outcome, Alliya and Shawn's wedding will go down in 90 Day Fiancé history as one of the most dramatic and disastrous moments to ever take place on the show. Fans will be eagerly watching to see what happens next for the couple and whether they can salvage their relationship after this epic blunder. Alliya and Shawn met on an international dating website during the COVID-19 pandemic. Once the travel restrictions were lifted, 62-year-old Shawn and 25-year-old Alliya met for the first time. Shawn, a Los Angeles native, and Alliya, a Rio de Janeiro, Brazil native, traveled on Shawn's dime all over the world to places where Alliya could go with a Brazilian passport. When Shawn met Alliya, Alliya was Douglas. Shawn, who is interested in men, liked Dougal's body and subdued attitude. However, things changed when they were on vacation in Spain, and Shawn suggested Douglas wear a wig for an event. Douglas felt more himself with the wig and then morphed into wanting to become a woman. Douglas began transitioning and swiftly became Alliya, and it came with a diva attitude change, which Shawn didn't like. Shawn was not interested in dating a woman, and he grappled with accepting Douglas as Alliya. During Love in Paradise, Alliya admitted their sex life wasn't good, and that they barely had sex, which I found shocking. Moreover, Shawn divulged that he was in an open relationship with Alliya, unbeknownst to her, due to their long-distance nature. It's clear to me that Alliya and Shawn have a lot of disconnects and incompatibility, and I think Shawn is going to be the loser in the end. Not only do I see Alliya and Shawn's age difference as a problem, but their poor sex life is also a major contributor to them not having the means to work out. Shawn wants to be with a man, and one with a more docile personality. 90 Day Fiancé's Alliya comes from nothing in Brazil. Alliya never mentioned ever having a job, and it seems to me that the lifestyle she had in Brazil was due to Shawn's kindness. Alliya loves wigs, makeup, clothes, and going out, all of which have to be on Shawn's dime since she doesn't work. Without Shawn, Alliya would either have to find someone else to support her or figure out how to support herself. What also bothers me is that Alliya has mentioned that it's always been a dream of hers to live in America, and I know she sees Shawn as a means to that end. Alliya needs to maintain her relationship with Shawn in order to continue her comfortable lifestyle. With that maintaining comes her chance to go to America. She was denied a visitor's visa, so getting engaged and doing the K-1 visa was one of Alliya's only chances to get to America. Shawn is a successful hairdresser for celebrities and lives in West Hollywood, and I think Alliya is swindling Shawn into supporting her. Alliya and Shawn's relationship seems very one-sided to me, as Alliya has succeeded in making everything about her. While I understand her transition is not easy, she consistently brings up her struggles and desires, and I've never once heard her acknowledge what Shawn might be going through. Alliya also doesn't care about what their relationship is doing to Shawn's family, as he has 3 children to think about as well. Alliya and Shawn's first clip in 90 Day Fiancé Season 11 showed them the day after their wedding date, where Shawn was upset by Alliya's actions on that day. Shawn asked Alliya how she could do this, and that she had him waiting in 104-degree weather until his patience ran out. Shawn brought up how much he had done for Alliya only to be treated so badly. Alliya's response in a preview for the season was jarring to me. I am appalled by Alliya's lack of self-awareness or appreciation for Shawn and all that he's afforded her. I hope that Shawn sees how toxic Alliya is and chooses himself. However, I am certain that Alliya is going to end up becoming the biggest user in 90 Day Fiancé history and will take Shawn for everything she can. I'm sensing that Alliya's intentions are to use Shawn for money and a one-way ticket to America, while showcasing that she has no regard for his feelings or family. To me, this is setting her up to be the ultimate user. If you're watching Season 11 but don't want to have to wait until the season ends to find out, you're probably looking for spoilers as to whether Shawn and Alliya are still together from 90 Day Fiancé. There's a lot of content to consume in the 90 Day Fiancé universe. The original show follows couples who have received a K-1 visa, which is uniquely available to betrothed partners of U.S. citizens. The other way is exactly what it sounds like: American couples who move to their partner's home country. It's about love. 90 Day Fiancé executive producer Matt Sharp told Gold Derby in May 2022 when asked what makes the TLC reality TV series so popular. "Love is primal, but I think we tapped into a couple of things. One is that this show is incredibly authentic. I'm a huge lover of The Bachelor and that franchise. However, we were one of the first shows to actually tell real stories about ordinary Americans and their love journeys. Also, this show is about this journey with other cultures. When we launched this show in 2014, we were on the love frontier of this whole new era of finding people all over the world. We're not sure, but we think so because, during a recent interview, he spoke about his relationship in the present tense. Alliya is relatively active, though she hasn't posted a single photo of Shawn, and until 90 Day premiered, Shawn hadn't posted on Instagram in almost a year as someone who describes himself as very private. They still follow each other, and when she posted about 90 Day Fiancé, Shawn liked it. However, Shawn confirmed he has a new romance during an interview with Access Hollywood on April 19, 2024. Spoiler alert, "I'm in love like a crazy man," he said. His name is Maxwell. He's super hot. He has blue eyes. He's a little bit shaggy, he continued as he picked up his new puppy to show to the camera. Some background on Shawn and Alliya, who've been together for 3 years after initially meeting online. Shawn, a celebrity hairstylist from New York, first met Alliya online. Alliya was assigned male at birth and began embracing her femininity while dating Shawn. As the couple progresses on this journey of learning more about themselves as well as each other, will their initial feelings and attraction towards each other grow stronger, or will the two grow apart? In a clip for the premiere episode, Shawn said that Alliya was the most amazing person I've ever met, and while chatting with his hairdresser. But things are far from perfect. "When I first met Alliya, she was he and he was Douglas. Yeah, it's a little complicated." In a voiceover, he explained further. "Alliya's biologically male, and when I met her, she went by Douglas. He would wear makeup, but always then boy clothes, boy masculinity, boy hair. So I didn't think anything of it. And then, about a year and a half into our relationship, everything started to change. 90 Day Fiancé Season 11 star Alliya de Batista has revealed she's become a mom in an emotional update on social media. Alliya and her partner, Shawn Finch, were first seen in 90 Day Fiancé, Love in Paradise. Alliya is a Brazilian trans woman who was assigned male at birth. Shawn had met Alliya when she was Douglas, before she discovered her feminine side and embraced it. Shawn began mourning the loss of Douglas as Alliya's transition took a complicated turn, with her now developing a boss babe attitude. To add to their woes, Shawn and Alliya's age gap is one of the biggest in the franchise. Shawn is 62 years old, while Alliya is 25. There have been discussions and concerns about Shawn's desire for an open relationship, about which Alliya has expressed reservations. It looked like Shawn was not fully committed to the relationship and was certainly not ready to accept Alliya as his life partner. His feelings towards Alliya were not the same as what they were for her as Douglas. However, Shawn and Alliya may surprise fans at the end of the season. Shawn and Alliya's dynamic shifted now that Douglas was Alliya full-time, and her transition has led to a few concerns on his part. Shawn expressed his concern about not signing up for a relationship with a woman and their lack of a sex life. They were already having an open relationship, and Shawn didn't want to stop despite Alliya moving to America to marry him. Alliya was seen filming with Shawn at the airport in June 2024, as posted by Reddit user GalaxyL7. It confirmed that Alliya's K-1 visa was approved and that they were going to appear in a new season. There was still a question of commitment, since Shawn had not even told his close family and friends about his wedding plans. The show had already teased the outcome of Alliya and Shawn's storyline in their debut episode, revealing that Shawn is going to get stood up by Alliya on their wedding day. However, Alliya is very much still living in America. She's confirmed she's living in Los Angeles and has hinted at her having become a mom. Alliya recently shared a picture of herself wearing a pink dress and posing with a pet. She wrote, "I've always heard about the love we have for animals, but I didn't know that they can transform us into better human beings and bring brightness to our lives. and added that she had a best friend on her new journey in the US. Alliya praised Maxwell for how he worried about her safety and gave her affection in the most difficult moments. "In your eyes, I discovered a new version of love. I love you unconditionally, my baby," Alliya declared. Meanwhile, Maxwell commented on his mom's post for him. Maxwell wrote, "My mom," with several red heart emojis. The Maxwell page on Instagram reveals that it's following only 2 accounts, Alliya and Shawn. Maxwell was Shawn's dog in the US, and he's calling Alliya mom now. It does confirm that Alliya, who came to America almost a year ago, did get married to Shawn on a K-1 visa. The 90-day fiancé couple seem to have buried their differences to give a fresh start to their chapter called life. 90-day fiancé. Love in Paradise star Alliya's before and after photos reveal her transformation journey. Alliya from Rio de Janeiro has been in a relationship with Shawn Finch from New York for over 3 years. Alliya met the celebrity hairstylist on a dating app when she was still a man. Alliya used to be called Douglas at the start of her relationship, and her transition led her to embrace her feminine side, creating obstacles in their long-distance romance. The Brazilian beachwear designer used to wear makeup but still had boy muscularity and wore boy clothes as she was assigned male at birth. 90-day fiancé star Alliya was born male, but that didn't fit with the way she felt inside. She started to identify herself with the feminine side of society and wanted to be free and open about her sexuality, to be able to express herself the way she wanted. Alliya's birth name was Douglas, and she's recently renamed herself as Alliya. She chose the name Alliya because it describes her sublime personality. Alliya is proud and grateful for the person she is today, but for a long time in her life, Alliya had to hide who she was. Alliya's parents divorced when she was 5 years old, and she'd gone to live with her grandparents. Alliya's grandparents were very conservative and religious. They had very traditional views of gender and sexuality. Alliya started to discover her sexuality and gender when she became a teenager. She felt very afraid of her family whenever she tried to express herself. They made her think she was committing a sin. Alliya couldn't be herself because she felt that she was doing something wrong. Everything started to change a year and a half into Alliya and Shawn's relationship. They were in Spain to participate in a gay pride event where Douglas was asked to be on a float. Upon discovering that Douglas had never been in drag or even put on a wig, hairstylist Shawn went wig shopping with her. Douglas beamed and no longer was the shy and introverted person that Shawn had known her as. Shawn believes that was when Alliya was born. Alliya progressed in her journey, and Shawn started feeling like was left behind. Shawn had seen Douglas as Douglas and thought that Alliya was a persona that Douglas adopted on special occasions. However, things started to shift rapidly. Shawn didn't understand what Alliya meant when she said there was no more Douglas. Shawn admitted he was in some sort of denial since he was the one who opened the Pandora's box. Shawn was trying to understand where their future would go from there. Shawn had met her as Douglas, and now she was Alliya. Alliya saw Shawn's expressive face and thought to herself that she'd found the love of her life. They talked for a few months and started to take trips around the world. Shawn made her feel very happy in the 3 years that Alliya was with him. Shawn made Alliya feel complete and loved. Alliya was excited to see Shawn as it had been 8 months since they'd last met. Alliya was still Douglas the last time she'd seen Shawn. However, since then, Alliya had found the courage to live her life outside the same way that she felt inside.